Right then, game week 31 predictions for the Premier League. The only result that I don't have to go off of is Chelsea Tottenham because I'm recording this on Thursday. I'm pre-recording because I'm going away until Wednesday, so that's why I'm wearing the same shirt for the next couple of videos because they're all in the same order. Well, in one after the other, literally. I'm going to record this, do Championship, then do the next Championship after. So, without further ado, let's begin. Starting off with Everton and Arsenal. Just a 1-0 defeat for Everton against Liverpool, which isn't bad. They've got the home advantage to Arsenal, who, how did they do? I've forgotten now. It wasn't too bad, was it? I'll just click on. Hang on. Bear with. You're not going to go anywhere anyways. They beat Fulham 2-1, give away the clean sheet. They had the Gabriel injury. Did they have Saliba injured as well, or am I imagining that? Let me just have a look. Because if they do, that's a bad turn. No, Saliba's fine, it's Timber. Not really a massive loss, I'd say. But anyways, no Saliba, they'll probably struggle against Real Madrid. And also with them playing Real Madrid, I don't think they field a good side here. I think they go for a weaker side. I'm probably going to look at a draw seems reasonable, like a 1-1. But I'm edging more towards the Everton win, to be honest. They're going to want a weaker side out. They don't want to risk getting Saliba injured, probably. Although they might not really have a choice. I don't know what their backup situation is looking like. But yeah, we'll go with a 1-1 draw. Then we're going to move on to Crystal Palace and Brighton. Brighton lost and Crystal Palace drew to Southampton. That's a terrible result to take, to be honest. They nearly lost as well. But Brighton got 3-0 against Villa. They did score, but it got disallowed. I saw that. But results are kind of dipping a bit for them. And Crystal Palace, in the perfect form that they had, have gone and drawn to Southampton. So this one's a bit of a tough one. But I'm going to go with the Brighton win. I'm going to say 2-0. Yeah, they've got a good side despite injuries. But the injuries are starting to build up for them. Not that James Milner's a massive loss, really. It's like a walking fossil on the pitch, but, you know, they still comfortably win despite injuries. Ipswich Town and Wolves. This is, in my opinion, the game of the weekend. This decides if Ipswich go down or not, I think. If Ipswich can beat Wolves and close that gap to 6 points, they're in with a chance. And I think that they might have the motivation to push on and do it. They've got the home advantage. They're at Portman Road. They beat Bournemouth, which is a huge win. Wolves beat West Ham, which is decent, yeah. But I think if Ipswich win this, they're going to stay up. And that's why I want to predict the Ipswich win. I want to say 3-2. It's going to be a close one, you know. Both know what's at stake. They're both fighting for goals. They're both getting goals. I mean, it's inevitable that both of them are going to concede, I think. It's either going to be really big battle 3-2 or it's going to be like a 1-0 or 1-all. If it's a draw, Ipswich probably going to go. If it's a loss, Ipswich probably going to go. But if they win, I think they stay up. They're going to have the momentum to go, right, Wolves, that close away, push on, get past them. But I'm being very optimistic there with Ipswich. But I hope that they win, and I'm going to say 3-2 to them. Come on, Ipswich, please stay up. You're making the Championship look bad. Moving on, we've got West Ham and Bournemouth. Both of these teams lost to the teams that we just talked about. But I think Bournemouth are clearly the better side. And they're going to come back from that Ipswich loss, refocus and push on to get a win here. 3 points is very important here. And they're going to get that. But by how many? I'd like to say 2-0. I'd like to say 2-1 as well, though. But I think I'm going to go with 2-0 to Bournemouth. Because while West Ham are decent, they've got like Jared Bowen and stuff. I just don't see them really scoring against Bournemouth. They've got strong defence, like Hudson, and they've got, what's he called on the wing? Not on the wing. Is he last back? I can't remember. Hang on. Let me look at the team. This is a stinker, all-time stinker. Kirkez, that's what he is. Kirkez and Hudson, brilliant in defence. So I think that it's going to be 2-0. Very close game though, really. Especially after them both losing to those two teams that are also playing against each other. And we're moving on to Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. This is a tasty one, actually. I do quite like this one. It's a bit hard to choose, but I think I might have to edge Villa for this one. In a 2-1 win. 2-1 seems fair. Nottingham Forest put up a good fight against Manchester United, but they did in the first half. It was a bit like, how's it going to go? We don't really know, but they did see it out, which you need to be a good team to do that. So obviously they are a good team, but Villa as well. If we just look at Villa's form, past 5 games, 3-0 against Brighton, 3-0 against Preston, fair enough, and then in a friendly against Al Ain, it was 3-1. Club Brugge 3-0, sorry, and Brentford 1-0 to Villa, obviously. So that's 5 wins on the bounce, and if I actually click onto them and have a little look past that, if it'll let me, it will. They beat Cardiff, but then they lost to Crystal Palace and beat Chelsea. So that's a weird. It's the Crystal Palace loss for me that throws me off a bit. But I still think Villa might do this 2-1. Ola Aina is apparently injured, and Chris Wood, and they're 2 crucial players for Nottingham Forest, I'd say. But a draw as well is possible. But I'm just going to go with the Aston Villa win. I think it's more likely to be them, to be honest. And then we've got up until Monday. So we've got Brentford and Chelsea. Quick turnaround for Chelsea. Obviously, I don't know how the game against Tottenham Hotspurs gone. But I'm willing to say, based on what I know, that Chelsea will probably win this one. Brentford have taken a bit of a dip recently. I mean, they've still got class players like Visser and Mbeumo, but I reckon they probably leave this summer, to be fair. But I'm just looking at the teams, and I know Chelsea have been a bit hit and miss, but obviously I don't know what's happened, so it's even tougher to say. But I am going to have to say maybe a 1-0's a bit too criminal. This could be a 2-1. We'll go 2-1 for this. Seems fair. Then we've got Fulham Liverpool. Sorry, Fulham, but I think Liverpool are probably going to 2-0 you here. Although I thought they'd do better than they did against Everton. 1 goal isn't too great. Salah again, not really doing much. He's sort of dipping a little bit. Hopefully he finds form again here though. He's not blanked out much this season, but 3 in a row against 3 different competitions. Let's see. Well, 2 of them saw him out of important competitions, but you know, I think maybe it's going to be 2-0 this time against Fulham. Fulham are a good side though, but probably not good enough to take anything away from Liverpool. And then we've got Spurs, Southampton. Obviously, I don't know how Spurs have done. I know Southampton did well to get a point, but they should have had 3 and they bottled it. It's very unfortunate, really, but Spurs shouldn't really have any troubles at home against Southampton. I would like to say 3-1, because Spurs are good for conceding. Southampton like to get a little goal in as well, so we'll say 3-1 there. Oh, sorry, there. And then also one of the other bigger games, this is probably going to overshadow the Wolves and Ipswich game, but for me that's the biggest game. But this is the Manchester derby at Old Trafford. Manchester United obviously losing to Nottingham Forest, and Manchester City beating Leicester. So Manchester City, definitely the better team at the minute. I thought Man United would score against Forest, I really did, but they didn't, which throws me off a little bit. But they did win the last Manchester derby, didn't they? That was a good watch, if anyone saw that. Which got head-to-head. Yeah, they did. They did beat them at the Etihad. And with no Haaland, I'd like to probably say Man United win again with home advantage. But is that being a bit too optimistic? I mean, Jack Grealish scored against Leicester, but is he going to score against Man United? I don't really think he would. I'm going to go with the Man United win, which is a baffling thing to say here, I think. Some people might look at me a bit funny, but I don't think they've turned it around enough. I think that Man United still have a chance against Man City. I'm going to say 1-0. Really, really close. Bruno Fernandes, whatever you want to call him. Technically financing it, so I'm being correct. But yeah, he'll probably pen off something stupid like that. Really boring derby. Please say that I'm wrong, because I'd like to see it all kick off. And then last but not least, Leicester City Newcastle. we don't have to spend much time on this. As we know, Leicester City don't score. They've not scored since the FA Cup, and before that it was when they beat Tottenham. That's the last time they scored, and that was January, I think. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say Newcastle win 2 or 3-0. What do we think? I'm going to say, well, Isak apparently got injured, so I'm going to go with 2-0. And that's it. So I've got to now go and record the week after. In fact, no, I don't have to do the Premier League the week after because I'll be back by then. So I've got all the knowledge for that. So next Premier League video will be back to normal. The Championship video coming next is normal. And then also the one after that is not because it's midweek and I'm away. But anyways, keep an eye on them. There might be some howler predictions because of my knowledge, and especially in the second one. The first one I've got knowledge, so we'll see. But I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a comment and let me know what you think about the predictions or what you predict to happen. And if you also haven't already, please subscribe. We are 1 away from 20. That would mean a world to me. So if you haven't already, please do consider pressing that button. But that's about it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.